Krupp is with the Mankind Project, and in this lawsuit it says that Mr. Eggleston eventually spoke to Marshall Krupp about some of these internet reports about these seminars.
Oh, Marshall, welcome to the John and Ken Show.
Hi, John. Hi, Ken. How are you tonight?
All right.
Good.
Do you have naked men at your retreat sitting in a circle passing around a wooden dildo?
We have, over a 3-day weekend, a multitude of processes, and there are 2 processes where men...
It's kind of a yes or no question.
Where men are given an opportunity to deal with their issues around sexuality. And so they are asked, and they can choose not to unclothe themselves for that process.
So the answer is yes. Guys sit around naked and pass around a wooden dildo and talk about their graphic sexual experiences.
They have the opportunity to do so, yes.
What generally happens?
Well, generally, some men will pass, and they choose not to speak at all. Other men will start to get into their deeper feelings around sexual abuse that has occurred in their lives, or have
What's the point of this? I'm a lawyer. I'm trying to settle cases. Why do I have to talk about my sex life or my abuses? Why do I have to sit naked, pass around a wooden dildo? What does this have to do with anything? This sounds creepy.
The weekend is about giving men an opportunity to look at what's working and not working in their lives, to become better men in the world, better men with their families and their children.
Well, how would you become a better man by sitting naked on a tree stump?
Because, number one, you don't sit naked on a tree stump. Number two,
well, you sit naked on the floor of a room called the smoke hut.
Well, no, it's not called a smoke hut.
What's it called?
Men are invited to be in a room in a circle after having gone through 2 days already of other personal growth and development, and they're given an opportunity.
Where do you get this mumbo jumbo from? Where does this come? Who wrote this program?
Is there a trust walk where people walk naked?
Yes, there is.
Why?
Hand in hand?
I don't want to walk naked, holding the hand of another naked guy.
And if you choose to be on the weekend,
why is there so much nudity involved? I don't really understand. Why is it all about?
That is a good question, Marshall.
About what?
If you're trying to get in touch with, I don't know, some of your sexual problems.
You got a naked walk. You got a naked sit down. You're passing around a wooden dildo. The guy next to you is grabbing your wiener. What is this?
Okay, first of all, John, there is no touching allowed on the weekend. That is.
Oh, it's only for Monday?
That there is nothing allowed on the weekend where a man is allowed to touch another man. The Friday when they come to a weekend, they are specifically told that there is no sexual contact whatsoever on the weekend. What Mr. Eagleton has said is absolutely false.
Well, he has quoted in here as saying that some of this stuff is taken out of context.
But it's essentially true.
But you said it's essentially true.
Well, if you haven't experienced the weekend, which I would encourage both of you to experience, including your producer.
No, I'm not. No,
Ray?
No, I'm not looking at Ray naked. I'm not looking at Ken naked.
Who wants to hold the dildo?
No, and I'm not. I'm not passing around the wooden phallus.
Johnny said, unless you go through the entire weekend.
No,
you don't know.
I don't want to know. I don't believe you.
What about this, Marshall? What about this thing where they encourage you to carpool?
Men
so
are
you can't get away.
Men are encouraged to carpool for their own safety by being in a carpool of 3 or 4 men. When they're traveling a long distance to a campsite, it is safer for them to travel together.
No, it's not. That's an intimidation and coercion tactic. That's what it is.
So you can't leave, right,
It's
Marshall?
to coerce them so they can't leave. No, they can't leave because then they'd have to get another guy to drive them back, and their bosses would intimidate them.
Don't you think, John? Go ahead.
Ken, if a man wants to leave the weekend, we actually accommodate that man by having one of our staff drive that man back. Men are not forced to stay on the weekend. If they choose to leave, they can leave. If they choose not to participate in any process of the weekend, they can choose not to participate. There is no intimidation on the weekend.
But he got also intimidation from his bosses who insisted that he go, and when he didn't go, they cut off his money. They cut off his pay.
That's what he said.
I will tell you that I know John Bisnar and I know Brian Chase. These men do not tell their staff they have to go to this weekend. They are given the opportunity to
You don't
go.
know that. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors in the office.
I know these men.
But you don't know the intimidation that they might engage in.
They pay probably your company.
Well, yeah,
for these seminars.
They're paying you, so you're not going to trash them or tell the truth.
They don't pay me.
They don't pay the Mankind Project for this nonsense? This must be making a profit, right?
The Mankind
Are people
Project,
running around in the woods naked and you're not making any money off it?
The
Really?
Mankind Project charges a fee to do the weekend.
Well, there you go. Well, that's what I
And
mean.
so any man can go the weekend. In our community, in the LA Community Center, if a man chooses to go the weekend
This is the most
and he finds
disgusting
that the
thing
weekend
I ever
didn't
heard.
give him what he wanted, he can ask for his money back, and we will graciously give him his money back.
Marshall, I have to ask you, have you ever participated in this?
Yes.
Have
I've
you
been in this work for 10 years.
Have you gotten
For
naked?
10 years, you're holding
Have you gotten naked, ever touched a man's?
We don't allow men to touch men.
It's never happened.
Never
It
happened.
has never happened in the
He
10
said it.
years. I've done 55 trainings.
One guy wrote on the internet that a supervisor told attendees they could place their hand on the penis of the man next to them. But
That
if
is
the
a
man did
false-
not want it touched, he was free to remove the hand.
All right, but you did do the naked trust walk.
I will tell you, there is no touching of any man on the weekend.
All right, but you did hold the wooden dildo.
There is what we call a talking stick. It's a representation. It is a representation of a man's penis, and it actually gives a man the permission for him to speak should he want to speak. But he can choose to pass that on to the next man and not speak.
All right, I think you think John needs this, doesn't he, Marshall?
No, I don't need
There's a lot
this.
of unresolved hostilities.
I'm happy with my hostility. I'm comfortable with
All
it.
right,
Marshall
thanks.
Krupp, thank you for
We're
the
just
man.
out of time. Toll-free number 1-800-520-1534 if you got anything to add.
Oh my
you all right?
God. Oh, my God. John and Ken Show. John Cobell and Ken Champeau.
All right, we'll be on with Channel 5 in just a few minutes.
Kate,
Hi. Hey, guys.
what did you go to?
I went to PSI. Now, what you're talking about in Mankind is run by Landmark, which is very similar to PSI. They're all cult groups. They're crazy, sexual, trying to get your money, break up family cult groups. And I had to go to one because my husband went to one. He was lured into it by another male associate who we don't need to go into that.
All right.
But what happened was my husband came home from this 4-day seminar and decided that our marriage was over and he was leaving me and the kids for one of the women in the group. Because they convinced him that we were no longer good for him. Now, he had to fill out all sorts of paperwork, just like the people at Mankind, and they want to make sure you're not under any doctor or therapist because they want to make sure you're weak. They want to know what kind of money you have in the bank and who has access to what kind of money because they're trying to get that money. So he told me the only way that we could work on our marriage and he wouldn't leave and go with this woman who he really fell in love with over 4 days was if I went to the seminar too. And so I said, this is crazy, but I went just to see what kind of mind games they were playing with him. And it was intense. I had 3 men who wanted to run away with me by the end of the 4-day seminar. You close your eyes, and they put you in this room, and they dim the lights, and they put on this music, which must be subliminal, and you put your hands, you hold hands with each other, and you open your legs, and you go inside the man's inner thigh area. And for hours, you tell him what he could do to make you love him, and then he reciprocates in words.
A stranger?
Yes, a complete stranger.
You're talking
People
dirty
were
to
having-
each other.
Yes, people were having sex in the parking lot after the seminar, during the breaks. They were going to hotel rooms. It was disgusting.
Sounds like an orgy convention.
Disgusting.
All right, we just got to go.
Did your marriage survive?
Yeah, we worked through it. After 4 months, he finally saw that he was being manipulated, and it worked out. That was
Wow.
insane.
All right,
Wow,
thanks for
Kate.
calling.
Thank you very much.
Here's
Oh.
Tim Conway Jr. with the stick in his hand. Look at that.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got
right.
the big dildo.
And he's sitting naked. Look, hey, all right, Tim.
Wow. Hey, we're still on the air, gang. Speaking of that, adult film star Jenna Jameson